In this video, you're going to learn the exact framework that you can use to transition complete strangers on the internet into paying customers for your photography or videography business. So I actually just recently did a podcast episode with the Photographer Mindset podcast where we dove super deep into the psychology of landing consistent brand clients.
What's your response to people who say, oh, if they really knew what they were doing, they wouldn't need to sell it?
99.7% of the people are going to watch it and do absolutely nothing with it. So one of the main things we discussed on the episode was how to successfully pitch a client so you not only just get a response, but you actually close a deal. And believe it or not, there's actually a specific framework that you can implement that's comprised of 3 core components that basically transition a complete stranger on the internet into a raving fan that's willing to buy from you again and again. And this framework is what I call precision prospecting. So in order to understand how this framework works, let's step into the shoes of a buyer, just anyone who wants to buy something. But in this case, let's just say it's a camera. So if there's a new camera company on the block, you've never heard of them before in your life, what do they have to do to go from you never hearing of them to you actually paying the money for their camera? Well, they'd probably pay someone like me to tell you it's the best camera in the world. They pay for a billboard, an ad, a YouTube video, whatever it is. In essence, they need to make sure that you know that they exist. Or in other words, they need your attention. And that's the first step of the precision prospecting framework. So it's the same concept with your creative business. Just like the camera company needs to get in front of you so that you know they exist, you as a creative business owner also have to get in front of the right people. And these are people that need your service and also can afford it. I mean, think about it. If no one knows you exist, how can you expect to get hired? But the problem is so many creators don't know how to create their own attention and their own discoverability, so they end up relying on hope. So the question becomes, well, how do you get the right person's attention? And there's a whole lot of ways you can do it, but for the sake of this video and to keep it simple, we're just going to cover one concept, which is called outbound messaging. So I know you probably just heard that and you're like, yes, finally, I got a script, I can send it out, and then hopefully the magic words will convince someone to want to pay me. But I'm not going to give you a script. And there's 2 very good reasons for that. Number 1 is if I give you the script, then everyone who watches this video is just going to copy and paste it and blast it out to all these brands, going to get exhausted very soon and is going to be useless to everybody. And number 2 is if I just give you the script, then you don't know the reason behind why the words actually work. So instead of giving you a script, I'm going to do one better and actually give you a framework and a way to think so that you can write your own email successfully. So the first thing we have to do is identify exactly how to structure a pitch. And I know it sounds crazy because you probably saw some blog or some ebook that said copy and paste this and send it out to everybody, but that's likely the reason you're getting ignored or very cheap projects. So I actually implement for myself and also for my clients a 2-step pitch process that I can almost guarantee you're probably not implementing right now. And if you do, it has the potential to either double, if not triple, your response rates. Let me show you how it works. So just a few prerequisites before we get started. Number 1, you need to make sure that you're emailing the right person. So this is the brand manager, marketing manager, director of sales and marketing. We don't want to be sending messages to generic emails like contact@brand.com. The second thing is you want to do a little bit of research just to understand where the brand could actually benefit from your content. And it's not just that their photos suck, because that's just a symptom of a bigger problem. Their photos likely are not very good because they either don't know that they're bad, or more than likely it's because they don't care that they're bad. So if they don't care, we have to get to the reason why they don't care. So your job becomes to give them a reason to care why their photos are so bad, and more importantly, to give them a need to hire you to make them better so they can achieve the dream outcome they're actually trying to achieve. So I know that sounds way out there, so let's get into the tangible structure of how you can actually structure this email. So like I talked about, this is a 2-step email process, meaning that you're sending 2 different emails. The first email, the entire goal of it is just to get a response. So we're not hard selling, we're not talking rates, we're not talking deliverables, we're not sending pitch decks or anything like that. We just want somebody to respond. Now there's 2 core elements that you need in this first email in order to get somebody to respond. The first one being that you have to increase the intrigue. Somebody has to be super interested in what you have to offer. And the second thing is that you have to reduce the friction involved in actually engaging with you and experiencing your service. So let's break both those down. So like I talked about, the first thing that we need to do is increase the intrigue. So let's break down the anatomy of an email. What's the first thing somebody sees? Well, it's the subject line, right? The entire point of the subject line is just that somebody reads your email and they open it. So you have to stand out, you have to be different. That's why templates don't work, scripts don't work, because it makes everybody the same, right? So once they're on your email, what do they see? The first line. The entire point of the first line is to get them to read further. So you have to create an icebreaker, or you have to create some sort of reason that they should care. And this is why a lot of people will use personalization. So they'll find something personal about the person, congratulate them on something, or make some sort of compliment that's relevant to them so that they actually care to read further, because people care about the people that care about them. If it just looks like you're spamming out the same copy and paste email to tons of different companies, they're far less likely to actually respond to you. So that's why the personalization is so huge. The next thing you want to do is create a big claim. So this is something that speaks directly to you being able to get their dream outcome, whatever their biggest goal in their company is, while also eliminating the pain associated with maybe some previous things they've tried in the past. So tangibly how this looks is I can help you achieve X dream outcome without Y thing that you hate. So just as an example of how this could look, it could be, I can help you get more bookings without having to spend more money on ads. Dream outcome, get more bookings. The thing they hate is spending money on ads. So we get the thing that they want without the thing they hate, and then that's a big claim. Now, it's one thing to make a claim, but it's another thing to be able to back that claim up. And the way we back that claim up is with case studies or proof, which, by the way, if you don't know how to get case studies or proof, I actually did a video you can check out right here that goes in depth on how to do that for yourself. So the entire point of this case study is just to legitimize that big claim that you just made. So essentially what we've now done is we've created intrigue in the client by calling out their biggest goal that they want to do, by empathizing them, that's saying that we understand that they maybe struggled with certain things in the past, while also legitimizing our claim by giving them case studies and proof that what we've done has actually worked with previous clients. Or if you don't have specific case studies, at least you understand the process and the strategy in order to be able to achieve that dream outcome that they're trying to achieve. So now that we've increased our intrigue, we have to reduce the friction to be able to work with us. So what does this mean? Well, we want to make it as little effort possible on the client's part to be able to engage in a conversation. So marketing managers oftentimes are extremely busy people, meaning that they're reading your email in between meetings or just like on their lunch break or something like that, which means that you don't have a whole lot of time to create that intrigue and reduce that friction. It also means that they're not going to spend a ton of time responding back to you, which, you know, if you've ever worked with a marketing manager, you'll find that a lot of times they send like a one-sentence answer. So we need to make the call to action in our email as easy to respond to as possible. And the way you do that is through a direct to value call to action. Let me show you how it works. So what we can do is say, you know, if you're not opposed, I'd love to share the exact strategy that we use to be able to help the client we just talked about in the case study achieve the same dream outcome that you're trying to achieve. Are you the best person to talk to about this? If so, just reply yes. So all they have to do in this example is just reply with one word, which is yes. You can do it in like half a second. And if they're not the right person, then they can connect you with who the right person would be. So that's the first email. You might have to do a few follow-ups to get them to respond, but once they do respond and they are interested, that's when we get into our second email. So the second email, the entire point here is to give them value. So you said that you had a case study and you knew a strategy that would help them get to their dream outcome. Well, now we're going to deliver on that. So just give them like 2 or 3 bullet points of what you would do and the benefits of working with you. We're not going to talk about deliverables. We're not going to talk about rates. We're not going to talk about how many pictures we're going to get them or what style of video or anything like that. We're just going to give them the benefits of working with us. So you put the 2 to 3 bullet points, and then underneath you're going to add another soft direct to value call to action to either watch a video or to book a call with you. So here's how that could look. You could say something like, if you want to see a more in-depth breakdown of exactly how you can apply these strategies to your business, I actually filmed a short little video that breaks down our entire process. So you drop the link to the video, and then directly under that you say, or if you'd like, we can go more in depth on a quick 15-minute call. The choice is yours. Now that brings me to the second component of precision prospecting, which is what the heck even is this video that we're sending them? So let's think about it. Whenever you buy a product or service, especially if it's pricier, you're typically not just going to see an ad and then immediately go buy the thing unless you're just an impulse buyer, which personally I am not. So I would usually take time to think about it. I would look at reviews. I'd look at the pros and cons versus this brand versus another one. I would basically try to get as much information as I could so that I could make a decision whether I wanted to move forward or not. So when we're thinking of the buying cycle, well, we've gotten the client's attention through the email that we just talked about, right? But now we need to educate them on why working with us is the best and only option that they can use in order to achieve their dream outcome. So the problem here is most creators will put out an advertisement of some sort to get attention, whether it's a DM, an email, a piece of content, doesn't really matter, but they'll be confused when the client doesn't want to pay the money on the first email that they send, or at all. And if we go back to the example of that camera, it's because you haven't built any trust, right? You're not buying the camera on the first ad that you see from this no-name brand, and most brands are not going to buy from you because they have no idea who you are and they don't trust you yet. So people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And one of the easiest ways to do this at scale is through video. I mean, case in point is this video. I guess you trust me enough to watch this far into this video, and as long as you trust what I say is true, you're far more likely to trust what I say in the future. So this video is the secret weapon that can pre-frame all of your customers at scale so that they like you, they know you, and they trust you before you ever even jump on a sales call with them, which makes the last process, the sales call, a whole lot easier because you're not convincing anyone why they should trust you. So this video we're referring to is what I call the VSL, or the video sales letter. And just a quick disclaimer, I actually talked super in depth about all the psychological triggers, how you can script out this video, how you can put it together and use all these psychological triggers in depth in my Pay to Create program, which if you're interested in having me personally help you scale your photography business, then check the link in the description below. Book a call with a member of my team. It's a free game plan call, and he'll walk you through the process of how we can help you scale your content business. But the workshop in the program is super in depth. It's over an hour and a half long, and obviously we don't have the time in this video to be able to go super in depth into all the psychology and how to script it out and everything like that. But I will give you the highlights of the video that maybe you can apply and kind of use it for yourself. So this isn't just any random video. It's actually a video that's highly tailored to the client, and it has three main purposes. The first one is to introduce clients to you, your process, your strategy, and how you can help them achieve their dream outcome. The second one is to build trust in you personally and you as a service provider. And the third point is to pre-frame the customer to not only want, but also feel like they need your service in order to achieve the dream outcome that they're trying to achieve. So this video is going to be between 4 to 7 minutes, and ideally on the shorter side is better because people have short attention spans, but don't sacrifice the quality of the content that you're putting out and what you're saying just to make it short. So just to give you an idea of the power of this video sales letter, my client Trevor reached out to a resort in Dominican Republic that was actively ignoring 1 to 2 content creators every single day, but Trevor was able to get through and actually book a meeting, and not only book a meeting, but also close him for a $16,000 deal. And the reason he was able to get that meeting in the first place was because of the video sales letter. So speaking of calls, that brings me to the last portion of precision prospecting, which is component number 3, which is the sales call. So I know sales probably sounds scary or slimy, or maybe you just don't want to do it. You don't want to learn the tactics and all that stuff. But the thing is, sales is actually just helping someone if you do it the right way. The number one thing that most creators get wrong with the sales call process is that they don't control the frame, meaning they're basically asking the client what they want. But if the client knew what was best for them, then likely they would already be doing it and they wouldn't be on the call with you. So let's just take the example of a doctor's office, right? If I'm sick, I'm not going to go to the doctor and say, hey, I'm sick and I need this medicine. That's not how it works. I'll go to the doctor. He'll ask me some questions to kind of diagnose where I'm at, how I'm feeling, what kind of side effects I'm experiencing. And as a result, he's going to give me some treatment options based on what he believes will be best for my overall health. So in the same way, when we run sales calls, it's exactly like a doctor diagnosing a patient. So we'll ask questions to diagnose what kind of inefficiencies the client is experiencing in their business. We'll ask questions to diagnose what their main goals are, where they're trying to get to. And then based on all that information, we're going to tell them a story about how we can take them from the inefficiency that they're at now to their dream outcome through our content strategy. So really, when you approach sales this way, sales isn't about specifics and technicals and how many photos you're going to do or anything like that, or even really hard selling. All it is getting to the root of why they need you and then helping them make that decision to actually hire you. And that is the 3 core components of precision prospecting and how you can apply it to your business. So to be honest, I dive way more in depth in that hour-long podcast I mentioned earlier. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description so you can check out the full episode there. Also, if you want me to personally help you scale your business to $10,000 a month or more, implementing these 3 core components, then go ahead and click the link in the description below, schedule that free game plan call, and a member of my team is going to walk you through our entire precision prospecting framework, how you can apply it to your business. And at that point, you can choose to either to apply it yourself, or if you want me to help you, of course, I'd be more than willing to help you implement that as well. So if you want to do that, check the link in the description below. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.